Yo, Washington was supposed to be chill that morning. Just another DC snooze fest hearing where politicians flax and nothing really happens. But little did anyone know the calm before the storm was brewing right there in that committee room. Kash Patel came in cool as ice, suit pressed, smirk locked in, acting like he had the whole script memorized. He thought this was his stage, his time to shine. But man, he had no idea what was waiting for him. Across the table sat Rep. Jasmine Crockett, quiet, steady, eyes sharp like a hawk. She wasn't here for the circus, she was here for the truth. Every word Patel threw out, she clocked it, filed it, ready to use it when the time was right. You could almost feel it, that tension thick in the air. The GOP side, led by Jim Jordan, was setting up their usual playbook. Long-winded defenses, recycled talking points, and a whole lot of noise. But Crockett, she was playing chess while everyone else was still arguing over the rules. You could see her patience, the kind that comes before an explosion. It's that quiet confidence that says, "Keep talking, you're digging your own grave." The hearing rolled on, questions bounced back and forth, cameras flashing, sound bites loading for cable news, and then that shift. That moment where the room goes from political theater to something real, the kind of silence before a verbal knockout. Because once Crockett took that mic, the energy flipped. The calm vanished, and the storm was unleashed. Patel didn't know it yet, but the game he thought he controlled, it was about to be ripped out of his hands, live, on record, for the whole country to see. Man, the second Crockett took that mic, you could feel the vibe flip instantly. The room that was half asleep just a minute ago, wide awake now. She didn't waste a single second with the usual fluff. She came in hot, locked and loaded. That calm Texas tone with razor edges. You know when someone's so composed it's almost scary? Yeah, that was her. Every word hit like a bullet wrapped in silk. Kash Patel tried to keep his cool, doing that nervous half-smile politicians pull when they realize the script in their head doesn't match reality. But Crockett wasn't here for a performance. She was here to dismantle. Line by line, she took his talking points apart, like she'd memorized every contradiction before he even opened his mouth. The crowd leaned forward. Even Jordan stopped shuffling his papers. Everybody could tell this wasn't just another 5-minute segment. This was a takedown in progress. Then came that moment. She asked him a direct question. Clean, tight, no wiggle room. Patel hesitated, went off topic, and tried to slide in a little attitude. Big mistake. Crockett leaned in, voice still calm but sharp enough to cut air. "I didn't ask for your feelings, sir. I asked for facts." The room froze. That's the kind of line that makes even the cameras stop moving. Patel blinked, tried to speak again, but you could already tell. Game over. She had him cornered, and she knew it. The more he talked, the deeper he dug. And Crockett? She just watched him twist in his own words. No mercy, no wasted motion. You could feel the momentum shift. The witness table wasn't his territory anymore. She owned that space, owned that moment. And everyone sitting there knew one thing for sure. This hearing just turned into a highlight reel, and Jasmine Crockett was about to trend for all the right reasons.
Yo, this is where the whole thing starts to fall apart, and not in slow motion either. Kash Patel went from smooth talker to stuttering mess real quick. You could see it in his eyes, that uh-oh moment when the bluff gets called in front of millions. The man who walked in with all that confidence? Gone. Now he's looking over at Jim Jordan like, "Bro, help me out here." But Jordan's just sitting there, flipping papers, trying to act like he didn't just watch his guy's defense go up in flames. Crockett's got him pinned, calm as ever, flipping through documents like she's reading receipts. Because she is. Every claim Patel made, she's got the paper trail saying otherwise. You could hear it in her tone, that controlled fire, like she already knows she's won but wants to make sure everyone else knows it too. Each time she speaks, it's surgical. No wasted words, no fluff, just precision. Patel tries to recover, tries to talk his way around it, but the more he says, the worse it gets. He's sweating logic, reaching for anything to grab onto, but Crockett keeps pulling the rug out from under him. The other members are trying not to react, some hiding smirks, others pretending to shuffle notes just to avoid eye contact. Even the cameras seem to zoom in tighter, catching every blink, every hesitation. Then she drops the line that seals it. That cold, calculated finish that leaves no room for spin. You said it yourself, so which version should we believe? Boom. You could almost hear the silence echo. Patel freezes because there's no way out of that one. That's the moment the internet clips forever, the exact second the defense crumbles live and unfiltered. Crockett doesn't even gloat. She just sits back, calm, collected, letting the weight of her words do the work. And right there, everyone watching knew. Patel's testimony wasn't just shaken. It was done, finished, over.
Man, this is where things hit the fan. The moment Kash Patel's defense starts falling apart, boom, Jim Jordan jumps in like a fire alarm going off. "Mr. Chairman, point of order," he yells, thinking he's about to save the day. Classic move. When the facts start burning, drown it out with noise. But Crockett, she's not here to play babysitter. She leans in, cool as ice, voice steady, but commanding, and fires back. "No, you'll let me finish." You could feel the shift instantly. That's not just confidence, that's control. The whole room goes from tense to chaotic in seconds. Members start talking over each other, the chairs gabble slamming like a drum line trying to restore order. Cameras zoom in, catching every glare, every twitch. Jordan's trying to spin it, waving his hands, shouting about fairness. But it's too late. Every word he says just reminds everyone watching that Patel needed rescuing. That's the thing about these hearings. Once you jump in to shield someone, you've already admitted they're losing. Crockett doesn't flinch. She doesn't raise her voice or take the bait. Instead, she hits them where it hurts most, with calm authority. That kind of composure that makes the loud ones look weak. She's standing her ground like, "Go ahead, keep talking, you're just proving my point." The energy's electric now. You can feel it through the screen. It's that perfect storm of power, tension, and truth. Jordan's interruption was supposed to stop the bleeding, but instead it just magnified the wound. The audience watching online can see it clear as day. The louder he gets, the smaller his argument sounds. And that's when it hits. When logic fails, volume becomes the last defense. The gavel keeps banging, voices keep rising, but Crockett's calm cuts through everything. This wasn't chaos anymore. It was clarity, and Crockett just made sure the world saw exactly who was in control.
Man, this is the kind of moment that hits like a thunderclap in the middle of DC noise. You know when the whole room's been shouting, chaos everywhere, and then one voice just slices through it all? That was Jasmine Crockett. No theatrics, no shouting match, just that steady, deadly calm that says, "I've already won." The second she leaned into the mic, you could feel the air shift. Patel froze, Jordan backed off. Even the chair, the guy who's supposed to run the room, just sat there, stunned. Crockett looked straight ahead, eyes locked, and dropped that line like a gavel of her own. And that, Mr. Chairman, is why credibility matters. Boom. Silence. Not the awkward kind, the heavy kind, the kind that tells you everybody knows the conversation's over. You could almost hear the weight of that sentence hit the floor. Patel's papers stopped rustling. Jordan suddenly found something interesting on the desk in front of him. Every camera in that room caught it. Every mic picked up the hush. That's how you know the truth just landed. This wasn't just another exchange for the record. This was a reality check, the kind that echoes way beyond the committee walls. Crockett didn't need to raise her voice or call for backup. She let the facts speak and the silence do the rest. That's real power in Washington, when your opponent can't even form a comeback. The chair tried to move on, calling the next speaker, but everyone knew the energy was gone. Patel wasn't defending anything anymore. He was just sitting there, dismantled. And the viewers at home, they didn't scroll, they didn't blink, they replayed it. Because in that single perfect moment, Jasmine Crockett didn't just win an argument. She made history. And that's the kind of fire you can't fake. Not in DC, not anywhere.
Man, this was the kind of ending that makes Washington stop pretending. You know when someone walks off the field after dropping the winning shot? No celebration, no chest beating, just pure confidence? That was Jasmine Crockett right there. She didn't need to gloat, didn't need a mic drop, because her silence was the mic drop. She leaned back in her chair, eyes forward, calm as if she'd just finished a checklist. But everyone else in that room, they knew they'd just witnessed a political masterclass. The crowd started murmuring, that low buzz you hear when people are trying to act casual but just saw something legendary. Cameras flashed from every angle, reporters scribbling notes like they'd just caught lightning in a bottle. Patel's shuffling papers, pretending to look busy, but his hands are shaking just enough for the lens to catch it. Jordan's scribbling too, not strategy, just damage control. They both know the clip's already online, being replayed 1,000 times, each one with a caption like, "Crockett ends them." That's the thing about these moments. They live longer than the hearing itself. The internet doesn't forget, and Crockett just gave it another viral masterpiece. She didn't raise her voice once, didn't throw shade, she just brought facts, composure, and that lethal mix of intelligence and timing that shuts the whole room down. The chair finally moves on, trying to reset the hearing, but the energy's gone. Everyone's mind is still replaying that exchange, that final line echoing in the air. And that, Mr. Chairman, is why credibility matters. The mic didn't drop, it fell into silence. And as the feed fades out, you know this isn't just another clip in the noise of Congress. This is the one people will share, dissect, and remember. One exchange, one takedown, and the internet never forgets.